Electric motorcycles, love them or hate them, they are here to stay. They are part of our riding today. I've ridden quite a few electric motorcycles, mainly on tests where we haven't taken them very far, and I really enjoy them. I love that super torquey feel that they provide. What I haven't done is ride them longer distances. So what I wanted to do was to see how electric motorcycles fare as tourists. Now my plan was to ride one from home in the East Midlands to Scotland, which is a fair old journey. That's 250 miles, give or take, depending on the exact route. And it's one that I've done on a petrol bike many times. Some of it is boring, some of it is motorway. I normally tend to start with the A1, get the miles done, and then depending on how much time I've got, I take some much nicer routes a little bit further north. And that's exactly what I did with my electric bike this time. So I decided to ride my Zero DSR to Scotland. Sounds pretty straightforward, but I had some reservations about how far I could go on one charge, how long it would take to charge it, how easy it would be to charge it, would I find the charging locations easy enough, and range anxiety was a real thing. That was definitely there. I wasn't quite sure what I was letting myself in for. So I set off from home, full tank of fuel as it were, or 110% of electricity, as the dash told me. The first stretch was the A1, which it's a boring ride anyway, but on this bike it wasn't made any better because of the way that these bikes are. The faster you ride, the more battery power you use. So trying to reserve the battery, I set the cruise control at steady 65, so I was pootling along, and it wasn't the most exciting ride of my life, but I got to my first stop at the Weatherby services and I had done 78 miles. I had an indicated 18 miles left in the tank and it was time to charge. So, time to charge. I've come to the services and the bike is hooked up to the fast charger. I've got time for lunch. Things looking good. I found the charging spot easy enough. I plugged in. The charger told me that it was going to take 1 hour and 4 minutes, which is quite a long time to charge after riding just 78 miles. But it was lunchtime, so I decided to go and grab a bit of lunch, have a coffee and chill. And that was all good, except that when I came back to the bike, I discovered that the charging slows down the more capacity you have in the battery. So if the battery is at 50%, it charges quicker than when it's at 100% because it goes up to 110. So the last bit took a bit longer, but you know, lesson learned. I'm an electric bike newbie, so that's okay. Okay. The bike's fully charged now, we are ready to go, and from now on I think we're going to get some better roads as well, so no more motorways and just nice Scottish roads. So I set off from there, carried on the motorway, went up towards Barnet Castle, charged again there, and then from there things changed because the motorways were tedious, I'll be honest. That wasn't great riding, sticking to 65 mile an hour. But from Barnet Castle I got onto smaller roads and you know, naturally your speed drops down a fair bit, and going round twisties I found that 50 miles an hour is about the sweet spot. something around there, and suddenly you get a lot more range out of the bike, and you get rid of your range anxiety when you can see that range not disappearing in front of you. Things improved a hell of a lot there. And of course, as you travel further up north, if anyone's been riding in Scotland, you know that north of England, Scottish borders are absolutely blissful riding. You have lovely roads. You don't have to go so fast, so you can sort of take your foot off the accelerator a little bit or your hand off the throttle. And it's doable. Would I say that electric bikes are good for touring? No, not the way that I tour, but there are various ways of touring. If you want to take the smaller roads, keep your speeds down, you can go a fair distance. The only problem is that the charging infrastructure tends to be around big cities and major motorways, dual carriageways, so you do have to plan a lot more. Also because if you get to a charging station, it may not necessarily be live. You might have someone else charging their vehicle there. If it's one of these AC charging points that this bike uses, they are a bit slower than the latest car chargers, the DC chargers. And if there's a car using it, they might be there for a good 2-3 hours, and you might be waiting for your slot to charge. And in some cases, the chargers are not working. So it may be that you just need to find the next charging spot where range does come into it, and you need to leave a little bit in the tank so that you can limp into the next charging point. Can you tour on a motorcycle, on an electric motorcycle? Yes and no. Yes, it's doable, but not in the same way that touring on petrol bike is doable. You can't just jump on a bike, smash a couple of 100 miles, have a quick cup of coffee, fill the tank, smash another couple of 100 miles. It doesn't work like that. You do need to plan both where you stop and where you ride, what your backups are, and you just have to be a little bit more careful about it. The bike itself is brilliant. It rides perfectly well. It's just all that planning that's frying my head. They say that electric is the future, so I guess I need to get my head rewired for that. But yeah, for now I'll stay firmly on the fence about this one.